Oh, shit. Dang. Ooh. Hi, everyone. I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I would like to welcome you back to our channel on YouTube, Spirit Teachings of Going Within Self, on TikTok, and I'm also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I suggest and really encourage that you go read the description on my YouTube channel, Spirit to Spirit Teachings of Going Within Self, to get a better understanding of what it is that I bring forward on my channel. You know, my channel's not for everyone, especially for, the ones that just want to conform to everything. People might say, you have too much of an opinion. And maybe you just don't speak up enough. See, today I'm talking, I use a lot of my own life experiences, as many of you are aware. Because, see, Spirit puts me in places for specific reasons. Because, we live in a system where it's structured for social, but it's not structured for people. And to my ex-husband, why don't you just stop texting me right now? He always says it's me, but it's not me at all. We went for a walk this morning, and all he did was talk. And then when I went to say something, he told me I cut him off. Like, what I have to say, nothing I have to say is of importance. And it's not just him who does it. It's like, do I irritate you because I hear you people saying stuff about it, but then you flip switch? What did they do? Have a talk with you and say, hey, you speak up about us and we're going to take everything you have? Or is it that they're giving you extra of something, and that's why you're able to, all of a sudden you're able to get things that you couldn't get before, but your money status has never changed. Nothing has ever changed. See, I'm talking about government funded programs today. Because for the past month and a half, I've been, I've been working with an employment support worker through my disability. You call me a welfare bum. You say that people on welfare or disabilities don't want to work. No, that's a fucking stigmata that your government system gives you so that you hate people like us and keep you distracted from the true bums. And they're the ones that are running your country. See, I've been trying for a while now. See, I went to FutureWorks, and they told me the stuff that they offer. They have this employment thing that it's all government funding, but if you didn't work in the past 10 years or haven't been on unemployment in the past 10 years, you don't qualify for it. So there's no actual funding there for somebody who hasn't worked. They might have been a stay-at-home parent. And now the kids are in school and, they have more time, but the resources aren't there for them. I went through this program in October, right here. And we did all of, this woman. I have the video and I'm going to play it. You learn all about how you're supposed to be in a work environment. And it's like, stop being so goddamn fucking patronizing to me. I'm more intelligent than what you give me credit for. But, oh, wait, you think because somebody is on welfare or on a disability or, they got to grovel. Maybe your government should be the one who's groveling. You put these people in charge and then you wonder why you have nothing. And I said it. We're not, if we're considered the bane of the existence on the system, then I guess it's because of you, because you are the ignorance. And, you know, I'm not the only one that feels this way. And there are some people that, you know, speak up about it, but there are so many that, you know, you'll say about it and everything like that, but you won't address the elephant in the room. I encourage people, come on, tell your story. Tell your experiences of what you go through within the systems. But will people do that? No, because they censor, they say they censor us. They may shadow ban you, but I'm here to tell you whether they shadow ban you or not, it still gets through. See, I went in there and I was in there talking to the people at FutureWorks for almost an hour because my ex-husband was outside waiting for me and he was getting irritated. And they kept running me in circles, repeating the same thing over again. And when I said I was on a disability, it was basically they were trying to find out, well, are you entitled to work? It's like, seriously, it's the person's choice whether they want to fucking work or not, whether a doctor says that they can't. If they want to work, then they'll go work. See, you put a bunch of control freaks, the head of the government, and anyone in the government that speaks up about it, well, they get kicked out. Especially the little guy. You don't have lots of fucking money. How dare you speak up about the ones that have the money? We have money because we know what we're doing. No, the only thing that you know what you're doing at is you know how to manipulate money. You know how to manipulate numbers and people because you're a sweet talker. You think you have, you think you're charismatic. It's like, seriously. Will I speak up about this stuff? Yes, I will. And I encourage others to, and not just in your living room talking to one another. See, the ones that don't want to hear it are the ones that are afraid of the system. Or, you know, you're comfortable. And you're the ones that tell us that we're bums and that we're feeble minded. But we're the fucking intelligent ones. And that's why they like to keep us down because they know who the fuck we are. They don't want us to rise. See, I do have to really laugh at the people that mock people like myself and say, oh, you complain about everything. Well, we're sorry that you were handed a fucking silver platter. And you wouldn't say shit if it meant saving your life. You'd expect somebody else to do the toss for you. So, do I care if I have friends because of this? No, because obviously they're not my friend. Because we have nothing in common. I did. I told my ex-husband today, like, you know, you'll sit and you'll talk to me and everything like that. Tell me, oh, go get a job. Go get a job. Dude, are you my dad? Are you guys like are you the father of the system and you're telling everybody, oh, just go flip burgers so we can get our food? Or go clean our toilets so we can smear shit all over the wall so you have to clean it up. Or shit in the urinal so you have to clean it out. How about you pick up after yourself? We didn't come here to wipe your asses for you. Now, see, I guess, like, these government officials, they like to record things for quality assurance, but they figure that the people shouldn't record. So let's hear this.
Hi, Tara.
Hi.
Hi, Tara. Sorry, I missed your call there. You are on the line with my cell phone.
Okay.
How are you today?
Not bad. I'm just returning a phone call.
Okay, perfect. Let me see. Okay. So, I did send you an email with all of the reports that I was able to find for you. I don't know if you received that or not.
I just got your message.
Now, see, we had already discussed that yesterday. Okay, about the supports, and we already like I told her that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but the funding's not there for somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur. That's outside of what the government will agree to helping you with. So you have to do what they say, or you don't get any funding. And then it's not like you can go to a bank and get funding. I thought that they were supposed to be there. I thought that this is where your taxpayers' dollars were supposed to be going to helping people get on their feet. So my message to those people who want to talk about people like myself, maybe you should shut your goddamn fucking trap for once and actually talk to the people instead of listening to your goddamn fucking government who's telling you we want you fighting with these people. I can't wait till the ones that you say are the fucking bums and the bane on the existence stand up and tell you all to go fuck yourself and kiss your own goddamn fucking boots. It's supposed to be the ones that, the system's supposed to be helping, but it don't help them. It might say, oh, well, we help this person, we help that. Oh, out of like one or two out of what? A gazillion people? And I know that's exaggerating because there's not but you get my point. And if you don't, maybe you should get educated. I have education. But it threatens your government.
Okay. Now, what we discussed yesterday with regards to the last thing, the
payment support type thing.
Oh, shit.
Now, do I have to make an appointment for to come in and talk with someone with regards to that?
So that would be for the case management services. Is that what you're talking about?
The last thing we spoke about yesterday.
Now, see, she's going to tell me that I have to fill out the forms and apply for it. However, back in, I believe it was May or June, I had already filled out the paperwork for it, but they couldn't find me on the computer. I did it at the Lotus Center.
well, it was like the employment support, like to go in and talk with the counseling or what have you for it.
Yeah, so that would be more so it's within case management services, so it would be helping you with job support, job search.
Well, so we discussed that you were gonna talk with me with regards to mobile and those other things for extra help.
Yes, and I sent those links to your email. I sent all of that information to your email. In terms of
See, the information that she sent me to my email, I had already gone in and looked up this stuff a while ago. These are funded programs that are actually supposed to help people.
learn how to get in contact with them, and they offer.
Okay, but you said yesterday that you guys helped with that. You guys helped set everything up.
What we help with would be the SEB program, but because you don't have EI eligibility, we can't apply for the SEB program.
But I remember you telling me yesterday that you helped with the other stuff too, because I said, okay, let's schedule something for that.
And when I said, let's schedule something for that, that's when she took my name and number, but she just she contacted me back, and she went over the same thing. After saying that she was going to help. It's like, do you hear yourself? Do you always take people for being idiots? Because I watch body language on everything. And these two women that were standing there, they're looking at each other. Like, how do we get her to go away? And there was 4 different people walking by, mainly men, walking by, and they're looking at me, and I could hear they're giving you the runaround. Thank you for that info. I already know what they were doing because they were talking in fucking circles and riddles. To keep your head spinning. To keep you from being able to focus on what they were truly trying to do. But, let's keep doing it, because I say they get patronizing and you'll say, oh, well, they gotta stay cool. They gotta stay calm. They can't say anything. You gotta be that agreement, right? Bow to the system. Like I said, go wipe the fucking brown off your nose because it's beginning to stain.
Other stuff that we help with is that case management, which is what I talked about. But you can apply or register with us for case management services, but that's for job search.
Okay, for job search, I know how to use a computer to go in and look for jobs. But I already told them that I wouldn't work well in a regular job because I'm not like everyone else. I channel all the time. I pick up on people's energy. I'm here not to conform to a system, but help people break free from the system. And this is why they won't help me. This is why they don't give funding to something that they don't approve of. Because if it's not something that they can really profit from, let's keep going.
And looking into the resume and the cover letter supports and
yeah. Okay. This program here covered all of that already. So why would I go back and do it again? Is that not just a waste of time and a waste of taxpayers' dollars? That's the part where they keep you going in circles. And then I wasn't past my certificate. It was left on a ledge because I told the instructor exactly what I thought of her. And then she told me that I wasn't professional. Are you fucking serious? See, yesterday when I was in there, I kept telling her, like, this woman that called, like, that I called one woman and another woman called me back, and I returned that call. I even went in. This was for a month and a half ago. I even went back in after I made the call to see if I could just speak with her. And I was told she's on lunch, but she got your message and she's going to give you a call. A month went by, no call. About a week and a half ago, I called back and left a message and no call. And when I went in yesterday, they were playing dumb when I was saying about Ashley. Well, we have two Ashleys here. I said, well, this one said that she was the manager, the case manager or something. Just give me 1 second. Let's see. Oh, damn. Just give me 1 second. Oh. See, she didn't do what she said she was going to do. But they'll say that, oh, well, we didn't say that, but you did. My ex-husband will actually say that I have a memory like a sieve. But then when I bring it up to him, I'm lying. I even said about job shadowing. Let's try this. Yeah, just give me 1 second, please. case manager. And I told them yesterday she was the case manager. Oh, well, no, she's not. But that's her. You fucking liars. Playing dumb with me? Are you fucking serious? I told them that she was a manager, Ashley, one of the managers. But Lori, you stood there and you fucking told me that she wasn't a manager, that you had no manager there named Ashley. You think I'm fucking stupid? None of you should have your goddamn fucking jobs. You look at me like I'm a fucking moron, and I know nothing because I tell you I'm on a disability. Do you know why I was on the disability? Or did you just take it upon yourself and think that I was a fucking idiot? Let's finish here. You stood there until you were goddamn fucking blue in the face every time I asked you about Ashley. You just kept looking at the other girl there. Oh, we don't have an Ashley here that's any sort of manager. And then, oh, I'm sorry for that. No, you're not. Because you're doing the same fucking thing. So don't tell me you're sorry.
How to do it, I started with that stuff. I already had that stuff. I know. But what I'm saying is,
but go repeat it.
You have support systems there to help.
Go repeat it and spend more of the taxpayers' dollars so that they can say that you're the fucking bane on the existence.
You get like not just like sending me an email, but actually helping me get connected so I understand this stuff.
My employment support worker through my disability at community service ain't even helping me. And you want to tell me that I'm the fucking problem?
This is just like here, give you the stuff, go do it yourself, which I put it on.
Well, if we're meant to be going and doing this stuff, why is the government funding these places? Why? Because it keeps the money in their pockets. Ah! See?
And I don't understand that I don't know how. And I thought that these programs were what put in place to help people like myself. I mean, it is government funded, right? So if it's government funded, that you're told that people are going to say that, look, it's the website, go to that and figure it out anyone. So I am irritated with the whole situation of it all. Because it is, and I will be honest, it feels like people are giving the game away.
I understand.
When I took this to my ex-husband for him to listen to, he says he supports me, but he was like this. Like really fucking irritated with me. Dude, I know you don't love me. Well, there's no real, as far as that goes. I already know you don't care. Better run and get your paycheck from the government. Is that why they're getting fucking irritated from you? They're irritated with you? So you're getting irritated with me? Because I'm not making it easy.
you're not the only one. There are many people that feel that way, only they don't speak up about it.
And I appreciate that you are speaking up because if you have the right to, of course, with our support, what we offer within Nova Scotia Work.
Okay, but what I'm saying is yesterday, when I was standing and there were people walking by the whole time, and you said that you helped the person get set up with them and everything like that, but you're telling me here, I just gave you the websites.
See, I can see where some men say that some women are extremely controlling. Because this woman here is a prime example. You were trained to get people to run around so that you could spend as much money, as least money as possible. Send them away so they'll go work in, businesses that we fund, that we bail out, that we reduce their taxes and give them tax breaks, and actually to the point where they end up not even paying any fucking taxes. I looked into it. And the majority of these big corporations, businesses and that, you'll come to find out all the loopholes that they can get through so that they don't have to pay taxes.
How is that actually helping the people, especially if they don't understand the website? Because I've gone into these websites and I just don't get a clue about them. I don't understand them. It's written in their language and not everyday people's language.
I understand, Sarah, but every time that I try to bring up anything, you keep cutting me off without me being able to explain.
And she keeps saying the same thing because it's running me in circles. I'm not your fucking dog, and I don't run in circles chasing my fucking tail.
You keep telling me the same thing you told me yesterday.
Oh, because what I said to you yesterday was that we are open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 for you to come in at any.
Hey, lady, my fucking computer is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year.
And we can help you go through the website.
Now, what is this module?
But there was only one thing that concerned me, was getting funding and help with starting my own business, helping me connect with the right people. But they don't do that. When I did this program, there was supposed to be job shadowing. And what I wanted to be doing, I didn't want to go work at the Elizabeth Fry Society. No offense, but I didn't want to work. I didn't want to be there. I told her what it was that I wanted to do, but then I have the emails that went back and forth between us with regards to what I wanted to do, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, I ain't got time now. Everybody else that wanted job shadowing got job shadowing, except for me. And after she sat in Zoom in front of the class and said, oh, like, I know that you're unique, but don't worry, we'll find you a placement. But she didn't do any. And then she would call me out and she would, like, in messages, it was like, we'll say who doesn't have their Blue Rabbit stuff done. That Blue Rabbit stuff, I did all the modules in 3 hours. And that was the last day before the course. And this future work thing, what this one was talking about, would be making me go do the program over again. Because they don't actually offer anything that I even told the woman, you know, the stuff you teach, it's common sense. But she even said, well, you know, not everybody has common sense. Well, obviously you don't either, because you take me for a fucking moron. So I don't care if you help me. The only one that seemed like they wanted to help was the woman at Lotus. Because she even told me, you know, contact them again. Like when because she was the one that looked into these programs that this woman's talking about. She looked into them for me. And she said, like, none of them that gives it, you would apply for it. So contact them and see if there's something else. It's like a message to the Lotus people. The ones that work at Lotus, do you realize that this is what they're doing to the people? You're helping to send them there. But then they're putting most people at a stalemate if they don't want to do a matrix job. If they don't want to contribute to corporations. Max told me yesterday when I said I don't want to be working in McDonald's or anything like that because I don't want to be serving people the food that I don't agree with. It's up to you if you want to eat it, but I don't have to serve it to you. And he's like, well, that's like whether they eat it or not. It's not your choice. No, it's not my choice, but it is my choice whether or not I want to hand it to them, knowing that it's going to get them sick. It's like the same as when I worked at Fairweather back in 2021 or 2001, 2001. There was merchandise there where, you know, people were bringing it back because it was a piece of shit. And, you know, I see where things will sometimes spray on the scene, but this wasn't the scene. This was right up top here. And I told her, I started telling people, like, when they go that shirt, no, I don't recommend that. I'm not going to recommend that somebody eat something or wear something. And I'm not going to, like with something like that, I'll tell you. But I'm not going to work at a fast food place because, you know, I'm honest, it's making you sick. If you want to eat it, I guess you're going to eat it, but I'll tell you right now, if you go home and cook it, you'll actually have a real burger.
That you said that you help people with. Because you said this was part of it, but now you're like, it's like, what? Go to the website.
I don't understand what you mean the module thing.
She knows exactly what I'm talking about. I just didn't word it properly. It's she's going to tell you it's an elevator thing or something like that to tell you how to prepare to go in for a fucking 3-minute interview to sum everything up in 3 minutes. I learned that in this. Why would I go learn it again?
No, you said about a module, like almost like a profile module. I forget what you called it. But you said you come in and you had someone, you have to draft it up for if I remember to do job shadowing or profiling or something like that.
The elevator pitch?
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. We can help you with an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is why we call it an elevator pitch is that it's how you would discuss something within the time it would take to be in an elevator with someone. So having that for those 3 minutes of going in and really selling yourself to an employer with an elevator pitch.
See? Selling yourself to an employer. I don't want to be employed by someone. I want to be an entrepreneur. Do you not hear me? Would you like me to go purchase you a hearing aid?
So that would be something that could be offered in the front end with someone being able to help you complete that.
Better go read from your fucking monologue. Don't think for yourself.
So is that like a video resume? What does the elevator pitch really entail?
The elevator pitch is a support to help you. So when you're going into any place that you.
So in order, like, basically, like, we'll tell you how to go through an interview. But I said yesterday that I'm not out for your average everyday job that the government wants to throw you in and say, we're only going to give you funding for what we approve of, not what you want to be doing. You do what we say or we don't help you. That's what I'm getting from it. This is why people get irritated. This is why these structures get people going in and being frustrated, and then it's on the person going in that's frustrated because they feel like they're just being given the runaround.
And then we're told, well, we don't want to work with you because you're too hard to work with. No, we're not hard at all. You're just not doing your fucking job. You're too busy discouraging people and, sending them in circles so that your government can save fucking money and then tell everybody that we're the bane on the existence. They're doing that to your immigrants. They're fucking putting immigrants in jobs for subsidy, and then you're fucking angry with them because your government and these corporations don't want to hire you because they can give slave wages. I would actually love to see everybody just walk right out on their jobs and just sit in the middle of the road and just refuse to do anything. See, the part is there's going to be people that you're going to be afraid. When you're going to step out of that fear, you're going to keep allowing them to just, some people are enjoying their jobs. Good for you. But there are many people that don't enjoy their jobs. They're being abused in their jobs. And there are many people that are losing their jobs because of these faulty programs. People say the system is broken. The system can't be broken when it never fucking worked to begin with. It only worked for the few that would, line up like soldiers and walk the same and talk the same, and don't you fucking step out of line because, hey, we'll penalize you. That's what they do in the military. You're late for work, you get penalized.
That the system is not there to actually help them, but more so to hinder them, especially if they don't understand if they don't understand it, and then they're told, go to a website. So there's no actual real communication. You're left to figure it out on your own.
Have any of you actually went to these websites and understood them? Because to me, it would be just the same thing. They'd still talk me in circles.
contact the on. I'll
Nothing that they produce is user friendly.
contact. I'll figure out who to contact because that I know this isn't on you. You're just doing your job. But hey, the system, it was never a system that worked in the first place just for, to say that, we're helping people, but they're not helping people. So I appreciate your help. And I do thank you for the email that you sent me. I guess I might figure out something. So you have a great day, Laura. Or is it Laura or Lorraine?
It's Lauren, but thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. I understand that this is quite frustrating. I do.
Yeah, it actually is quite frustrating, and it's frustrating for other people too, and that's why people just say F it, and they stay on assistance. Because it's less hassle. But then, they're on assistance, and people are telling them that they're pieces of crap because, oh, you're not working, and we're paying your tax, we're paying your income. You're paying the government's income, and they're giving us table scraps and telling you that we are the bane on the system. No, they are. So I appreciate your help today. And I hope you have a great day.
Yes, I hope you do as well.
Thank you.
So my message to all you people that want to fucking say shit about people who are living on the streets and or not working or what have you, why do you think that we should go flip your burgers for you? Because you say, oh, because you should be making some money, whether it's flipping burgers or whether it's fucking wiping the shit off of every shit that we put on the floor. That's where they get, you're fucking privileged. You believe. See, even community services, you have to be like fucking pulling teeth. They don't give you, they don't tell you anything. They don't tell you what you're entitled to. As far as help, people say, my employment support worker, when I was trying to get funding to go back to go to school, you know what he told me? About going out and getting a student loan like everybody else had to. Because he got one. And some people get their student loans forgiven, but he didn't have that opportunity. Dude, you shouldn't be in that fucking field of work. I don't fit in at your everyday job. Because I wouldn't last long. Because I wouldn't take the shit that they like to throw out. And I'd be channeling everything. These corporations, they give you slop food and charge you a fortune for it. But hey, I guess you're okay with paying out that money and then saying I got no money to pay my bills. That's your business, right? But that's where it comes into play with regards to the medical community. Another governmental funded structure program. See, they keep you donate money so we can do research for this and find a cure for that. They already have the cures, they have it hidden. And they keep the loop going. Because to them, they're a bunch of suckers and they want to live, they want to be okay. So, they'll believe whatever fucking lies we put in them. we'll spoon feed them and say, choo, 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 chugga, chugga, choo, choo, open up. Take the shit we're feeding you. You know, we need more people, like, instead of living in fear, and instead of going and telling people like myself that I'm a bane on the existence of humanity. No, it's your ignorance that's the bane. And people say, oh, well, life's not fair. It's not fair because you see it that way. And you don't give two shits about the less fortunate. The ones that you beat down because you fucking bully them and tell them that they're pieces of shit. Do you know why they're on that system? Some, maybe you know they're on it because they don't want to, as you say. But how do you know they're just not like you? And how do you know how many times they actually went to get help, to get into a job? Because you know, like everybody's hiring part-time now. So if they're hiring part-time, you don't have enough to pay your rent. You don't get that ability to get your dental and everything, which I don't understand that because, you know, you're forking out money, but, oh, right, the hospitals are a private structure too. Your government is just giving them funding for it. Another funded program. You only get the services that they offer or that they allot you. And in order to find out what else you're entitled to, you have to jump through fucking hoops and put up with a lot of, we're going to run you around like a fucking rat in a rat cage. They're actually fucking rats. And they're using you as your prey. I have loyalty to people, not systems. And some people may say, well, the way you talk about people, you ain't got much loyalty. I guess you're getting spoken to like that because I had all the loyalty. But you showed me. Go into these places, another program. Hey, you know, we'll give you incentives, but you got to give us your data. So nothing's for free because you're paying it for your data. That's the part of, you know, we sell our soul to the devil. But you're not selling your soul, you're giving it. And the system is the devil. The system is the father who likes to manipulate numbers. Because people say, oh, well, God works in numbers, no God. The true God works in geometry. Because that's what creates. Not numbers. Numbers just create a monetary system. You say, well, they use numbers and math to do the structures of your buildings. Yeah, if you're building box places. But they use geometry. And that's a form of number. I know that. I understand that. But geometry is about shapes. It's easier to manipulate the numbers. Because all you have to do is put it off by 1 penny and it fucks up the whole system. You look at shapes, they're not meant to look the same. But with numbers, they're supposed to be there to have a firm structure, a firm foundation. You know, they like to say you have to have all these permits so that you don't build the house of Jack built.
You know, the crooked house. Do you understand that concept? Jack built the crooked house. The house that Jack built. So the system is the crooked house. If you look at the research and recycle. So next time people want to, as if I'm a welfare program or I'm a bane on the existence. No, I'm the one putting my life and reputation on the line to call it out. We'll sit there and eat bonbons and watch soap operas. Because it's easier to watch it on TV than it is to look at your own life and see what's really going on. And I'm talking about within your systems that we all live in denial of most of them. You can take this as me insulting you. I'm not insulting you no more than you're insulting me or you're insulting yourself. Because you're dumbing yourself. You know, social structure. The government funding was to go toward, like, it was for the social structure, not for researching frivolous bullshit. That's not where your tax dollars were supposed to be going. You know, why is it up to the government why is it up to you to be funding a condom place and saying, oh, well, we're doing testing to find out how well they function? Or they send the money to pharmaceutical companies, which only they make the money from. Another program, government funded, that works for the businesses and corporations themselves, and not for the people. Healthcare, you say it's free. Then if it's free, why do people have to go out and get medical insurance? You know, insurance. You have to use what the government provides, which is very minimal. But the money is supposed to go back into the people. The people, not corporations, not businesses, but into the people. You eliminated all small businesses and anybody who wants to open a small business and it doesn't conform to your matrix. You don't give them the funds. Same as a bank. So wait, your bank is still run by the government. Your medical system is run by the government, but they say it's privatized. Well, it's privatized and it's owned by all of them. Hey, the monopoly guy's in. Seriously, you have your utilities and everything around the board. Can't pay your mortgage. Fuck, you're homeless. We're going to take it. We're going to foreclose on you. And then we're going to sell it with a profit. But
people will tell me, will you just shut your mouth? No, why don't you fucking open yours? Instead of sitting at home complaining and saying you can't afford this, you can't afford that. And then sit and preach, oh, the meek will inherit the earth, the meek will inherit the earth. Do you know what fucking meek means? Because it's sure the fucking the ones that sit in the corner. Oh, wait, you'll inherit them. Like the form of a matrix. But you're not inheriting anything, you're conforming to it. Like I said, just give me 1 second. Can you do me a favor for a second? Come up close to your computer or your phone. Because I need to wipe that shit off your nose because it's beginning to stain. So it's not part of, you look at me like I'm a piece of shit and bane on existence, but I'm out here putting my face on. I'm not putting fucking filters on. You're seeing me. There's no fucking filters. I'm not hiding behind a fucking mask. I'm showing who I am. And a lot of people are beginning to hate me along the way. And my words to you is, if you hate me, that's fine. Or if you don't like me, that's fine. Because, hey, you obviously want somebody that I want to be around. And if people want to say, because I heard that in your opinion, maybe you should find your opinion. And I wouldn't have to let that burn off your nose. So to FutureWorks and Solutions Learning Center, you're for sale. You're the bait on the people. You're the brain in the system. And I'm talking about the structure, not the people that are, but you got that one. From this course, people like myself are the challenge. We are the ones that's going to figure out whether or not they're doing a good job. You say the CIA and everything like that, they have secret agents. The ones that you think are the bums, how do you know they're not the secret agents? And they're put in the system to clear them out. But others will say, oh, well, we're just insane and we need to go to the psychiatric and maybe give them some pills so that they don't speak out anymore. Or give them a needle so that they can go in the corner and fucking shoot up. We don't have to worry about them coming to us or anything. They're too drugged up to even know from what today to yesterday was. From 1 minute to the next. Better go blue. And then say that you have the say. You ain't got no fucking say at all because you gave it over to somebody else to speak for you. You gave your sword of Aaron away. The Ark of the Covenant was a replication of the human body. The yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, the mother and the father, the energy within it. Others around can't handle it. And the sword of Aaron, that's your voice. Which you have to look for and idolize. Why do you think they build these things to, keep you in that loop? To believing that it's the structure that you see in your physical world outside of yourself, and that you're actually talking about is you. You become that Ark of the Covenant when you become one with yourself, when you become one with spirit, and you tell these structures to go fuck themselves. That they're trying to tell you to do. You work for us. We pay you. You're going to give us all your money and you're going to be happy with it. With all due respect, which none is earned, to those ones that feel that way in this system. You have this much money and you're still not fucking happy. See, that's pretty sad for me. Because that's why people who have nothing, when they're happy, you have to try and make them feel less than what they are, because that's how you feel about yourself. And you have to pump your own ego and then preach and tell everybody else, oh, look, if you have anything, you're working in your ego. Don't you have anything because you're not humble if you have lots? Well, then I guess that's why you're not fucking humble, right? But see, the thing is, people can have stuff and still remain humble. Just not the ones who, you want to be in charge. Go stroke your penis. Prop your tits up. Because it's both men and women. This is a prime example. See, it's not about a man or a woman leading one over the other. The ones that should be what you perceive to be the leaders, the front runners, should be the ones that are actually balanced with both masculine and feminine. And then that's when you see both perspectives. Because you don't cater to one side or the other. You see them all. You see both sides. You don't give more to one and less to the other. That's where the control comes in. So with that, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You can still be poor leaders. Or you can be great leaders. But I have from Dalhousie University, I have my leadership. See, are any of you familiar with Brad McRae? Because I took it through, I took the courses through Dalhousie. But see, when I went in there yesterday, I even told them, "Are you still treat me like a piece of shit? You still treat me like I'm a fucking moron idiot?" Like, what did you do? Like, my thing, what you do? Like, see that I was already registered with the place, but what was there? An alert on there? Was I flagged? Because automatically, like they seen, they were looking, and no, we don't have you registered. See, the thing is, when I was at the Lotus Center and I met with the woman there from FutureWorks, we filled out all the paperwork and I signed it. So how am I not in the computer? I'm supposed to put it in the computer, right? I already had my initial meeting. See, these places, they bank on people not questioning things, because they make it as hard and as impossible as they can for people to get ahead. Go watch the movie Ants. You are segregated. They look at your family lineage because they know who you are when you're born. All they have to do, why do you think they take your blood? You say because they're checking to see if there's any medical conditions. Is that part that you hear yourself when you say that? Because they're checking your DNA. And by checking your DNA, it's all in a database and it has your ancestors right in it. Where you, like, what affiliation you have. Because if you think that they don't have all that information, what, because you say the computers went around then? Oh, they were around then. They just weren't readily available to the people. But they had it. First thing they do when you go into the hospital, you get to your blood. You go in for your initial visit with the doctor. What do they do? They touch blood. Why are they doing all this stuff? If you're not sick, why do they have to check into all this stuff? Are you supposed to go to a doctor for what you experienced at that time? I understand people get blood work done to see if there's like anything wrong with you. I understand that. See, why do they need so much? Because all they need is a little drop to test. But they make you get 6 test tubes. they say, oh, each individual thing. It takes a tiny drop to test it. You can take one drop and, look under the magnifying glass and see what it is. People say they take it and they shake it up. They also put stuff in it to shake it up. It's like a marker. And I understand that. And you say that they check for diseases, they check for immune system, everything like that. But see, the thing is, if they actually sat and listened to their patient, actually listen to the patient, and stop trying to be so like know-it-all. Their patient is actually telling them what's wrong. But you're not hearing it because you've been trained not to. You've been trained not to listen to your patient. And if the patient questions you or second guesses you or goes for a second opinion, you have the right, so you think you have the right to drop the medication, to say that it's the patient. The patient gets violent or the patient gets irrational. Why is the patient getting irrational? Because you're not fucking listening to the people. See? I don't care if you don't understand the language. The ones in charge of your systems fucking know you. Think they speak English? Right? Because most of them aren't even fucking English. But you'll say, oh, well, that's a conspiracy theory! Really? Are you sure about that? Or is that what they're telling you so you don't question it? Se te adesso, non solo con la foto adesso, curita. I do say I'm a bane, I'm on disability, so I'm a bane on the existence because I don't conform to a matrix that dumbs me down and makes people believe that I'm just a fucking stupid bimbo. You think that no wonder people feel like are so depressed and in the dumps because you listen to the fucking system. You don't listen to people who are trying to shed some light because they got to be wrong because your government says it. Because your government says it's like people like a challenge. It's like part of challenge you to come on here and tell your stories about your experiences with the systems, good and bad. And also the ones that seemed like they were good until they turned out that they were actually bad. I know someone that they had been going to the doctor over like problems with their stomach and stuff like that. Doctor didn't fucking listen. And now that person has stage 4 cancer. And I informed them like go to your media, go to someone, go talk to a lawyer. No wait. The biggest majority of of your healthcare money goes to protecting the employers that that did the malpractice in the first place. But they won't show you that. They'll tell you that, oh no, all the money goes into healthcare. No, it doesn't. Very little of it goes into actual healthcare. And I don't care who you think you are, what department you think you work in. There's someone above you manipulating those numbers, and you're not seeing it. That's why they have so many channels that everything goes through. But hey, I'm just an educated bimbo girl that knows fuck all, but got actual education, just stuff they don't know about. Or maybe they do, and they want to file a whole bunch of people on me, much like the Matrix, when they had all of Mr. Smith's right on Neo and right on Trinity. And here, we're going to hold you down until Trinity and Neo say, fuck you, assholes. So you're not very ladylike. Well, I'm not in my ladylike right now. I'm in my masculine. Mixed with my feminine because my masculine speaks up and the feminine recognizes it. And that's why. You know, the biggest, like the ones, did you ever notice the ones in charge of your government, a lot of them are people who deceive. It's like you look at Donald Trump, there are ones like Donald Trump as being your Christ, you are your leader, you worship. Donald, I double dog dare you to stand up on the podium and start speaking a multitude of different languages without having earbuds in your ears, actually with the Christ consciousness. You want to be worshipped. But the only ones that worship you are the ones that you manipulated. And you told them it was for them. And it actually wasn't for them at all. You led them to believe that all that you were doing was to better their life. But you didn't tell them that you were going to go after theirs too. You made them think that, oh, this immigration thing, it's like getting, like doing the immigration thing, getting them out and everything like that. It was beneficial, it's beneficial. But what he didn't tell you is that meant your family members too, your loved ones too. Not that it was going to tear down your infrastructure. Yes, things need to be like put into light because your education system, but to remove all funding from it, no, that helps them. It's a part of removing certain programs and not removing them, but stop making them compulsory. Because the stuff that should be taught in schools is not taught in schools. So you go through grade 12, and you still know nothing. Then you're told you got to go to university, and you still know nothing because most people that go to like a lot of people that go to university, well, those are the ones that are still remaining working in fast food places and wondering how am I going to pay my student loan off and I can't even get a fucking job in what I took. How do you like buying products? Maybe the government should be giving back to me so that you can put the money in for funding that they want to make you pay out of your pocket. You're already paying for it. Better go get your caviar and champagne and have your little fucking parties. Hope you enjoy them while they last. I say parties, but should I be saying orgies? Who stroke each other's penis? Pass it on, man. Pass on the stroke. Anybody taking offense to this? Well, hey, why are you taking offense to it unless you're actually doing it yourself? Like another thing that was put in through the church and the government was about Lucifer. Lucifer's the demon. No, the system is the fucking demon. So if Lucifer was said to be the son of God and Lucifer got cast out because it challenged the Father, God forbid the girl challenge him. Quería saltar. Love me, hate me, like me, loathe me. Everybody wants to kill the messenger. It's like, I'm not insulting you. So you'll take that insult. I'm insulting the system. But people who speak up about it, they'll refer to those people or people that challenge the system. They'll refer to those people as being the terrorists when they are actually the terrorists because they are the ones terrorizing the people. And if you don't like me speaking like that, I don't know if there's an actual board for this channel, but and don't forget to close the window or just leave it open a crack just in case you might want to hear what I have to say. And then you can eavesdrop on yourself. Eso lo quería. Man, you're always waiting for the man. Praise the man. Hallelujah. It's like Father Time was done because time was done. See, it's not about tearing out all the other timelines because you feel they're incorrect. Go watch the series Loki. You have about the Watchers on there. You know, you talk about the Watchers. It's on there. Loki was moving from timeline to timeline in and out of time. Do you know that the true God, the true Christ, wasn't born in time? It was born outside of time. It was the Father who created time. And it's called time. Because that's what kept people in the loop, you know, you get the clock. You say you do a clock that says 12 hours, and the day's said to be 24 hours. So, you know, every 12 hours you reset. It's that part of here. Let's create a system where every 12 hours, we'll say there's 24 hours in the day, but every 12 hours we'll just reset them so that they forget. It's government funded. So that's what I say. You know, if you understand what's happening in the system, you still play in it, and you hurt people. You're part of the ones with crimes against humanity because you're playing along with it. You're laughing at other people's pain because you're living in the true ignorance. It's the denial of the truth. Or, you know, profiting from it, but only because you're frightened. See, people will take this as an insult, but, you know, I'm speaking as spirit to spirit. That's why my channel is spirit to spirit. So it's not that I'm calling out you, I'm calling out that spirit, and that is the spirit that spiritually that integrated with me and wants to collaborate with other people to try and catch me off guard and beat the shit out of me. Instead of actually understanding what it is that I'm explaining to you. Not begrudging people of things, because everybody needs help, and some more than others because they're stuck in that loop that they've been in since they were a young child, because they couldn't understand why they were treated differently. Why they felt like they were an outcast, and why other ones in the family structure enabled the behaviors and didn't stand up and find out what was causing the behaviors for fear of some type of truth being seen. And your system's banking that. It's called, they use it as a form of extortion, manipulation, blackmail. And that's what they're doing to all of you, whether you're conscious of it or not. Why do you think you're living in fear? Fear you'll lose your job, you'll lose your home, you'll lose your children. Fear about losing your parents, all loved ones. Fear that if you stand up against the system that you feel that you think is much bigger than you. That's where they have you in the loop because you are bigger than the system. Hence, what was actually said, you were like me only greater because you come in numbers. You're one alone, but by fuck, we're one mighty rock together. And that's why they want to keep you smashed down. Keep you in pieces and bubbles. The system is the true, it is the true devil. It is the true temptation. Are you going to choose monetary and material things over your own sovereignty? Because as long as you're giving everything to the system, you're not sovereign. You're the puppet. And they dangle you. Dance, monkey, dance! See, this is why the system will shadow ban you. It's not because what you're saying is not true or it's misinformation. It's because if they're doing that, it's not because it's misinformation, it's because it's true information and people don't want to get it. Because, they can say it's misinformation, but nothing is really misinformation. It has weight to it. It may just be misinterpreted. They want to keep you separated, fighting with one another and divided so that you can't see and realize that you're all speaking the same language. Only they're leading you to believe that you're not. You're all seeing the same thing. You're just seeing it from different sides. So how about you see it from the other side? Instead of saying that the other person is wrong. It's a part. Maybe somebody's seeing something you're not. But you get irritated with them and they show you or tell you or bring it to you. You look at your programming and because they say that it's not real, that it's fiction, you believe it. Meanwhile, it's actually true. They just tell you it's real. You think there's only one earth in the world.
That's where your sign is. Because there are many fourth planets out there, and there are many civilizations out there off of it. People say, oh, well, they're not up in the sky. Oh, yeah, they're everywhere. And they've been in existence for eons. But what? You're not a scientist. Where do you get that information from? NASA's never said that. I wonder why. You know, to all you reporters out there that conform to these politicians, you're entertainment. You're not true reporters. Because if you were a true reporter, you'd actually be unbiased and you'd be reporting both sides. And you wouldn't be listening to your fucking politicians to get the information right. They're showboating. They're your distraction. Better go kiss the orange man's ass, right? Donald, I have to ask you, you do what my mom used to do? You take iodine and put it in your baby oil and pretend you're going for a tan. But my mom was actually going for a tan. She was using baby oil and iodine, which turned her skin orange. You know, it's not just Donald Trump. It's them all. They all got their hand in the cookie jar. Some's just throwing the conscience. And there are some in there that genuinely are there to help break matrix, to expose it for its true identity. You know, the Wizard of Oz. Who is it behind the curtain? It's the man that has no magic, so it has to try to steal it from everybody else. Talking to the one that, you know, likes to say he's the father. I'm not talking about my grandfather. I'm talking about the one that likes to say he's the father. We're still waiting you. We're actually still waiting for you to be an actual father. Because all you want to do is fucking chew up your kids and spit them out for your next project. See, the father manipulated Michael too. I have a really strong reason to believe that Michael was actually Lucifer. And the father took him and turned him into his daughter. And his mother. But maybe who you perceived to be God was the husband of Lucifer. You know, Lucifer is Sophia.
masculine side of Sophia. Because Sophia was balanced and the father was not. So there are two forms of Jesus, okay? Because we think twins, they're twins. You don't believe that, right? And even Yeshua was the second person. That's why you're getting all these different, like, it's much the same, but different versions of folks. I'm not shaming your religion. Because whether anybody wants to say that this person's religion is not real or not true, who the fuck are you to say what religion is true and what's not? It's their beliefs. Maybe the way they go about it doesn't seem appropriate, but that's how their ancestors lived. So that's their family story. Everything is run by the government because all your money goes to the government and they disperse it. And then the church says, give it, like, God says, donate money. But you never really see it go to people. What? The church will have a supper or a dinner sometimes and say, oh, well, we fed people. Did you really? You gave them the mail and sent them on their way and said, hey, go give them poverty more. And then, maybe another time you have another supper and feed you. You will say, oh, we're doing good deeds. If you were doing a good deed, you wouldn't be asking. And you sure the fuck wouldn't have it as non-profit because it is one of the biggest profitable organizations in the world. Because it's a network of mission, it's their business. That's why a lot of churches are falling existence. That's why a lot of people stop going to church. Because all it did was ever tell people that they were pieces of crap, and you gotta look up to us. But we'll teach that you should be worshiping God. How many of you are familiar with Nikola Tesla? Quite a few, I know that. Tesla's mother was much like him. His mother got along. See, his father was a priest. His father wasn't real fond of Tesla. You want to tell me more? Why do I got two of his books? One being the autobiography of Nikola Tesla and other works. And then the other one being Tesla, inventor of the electrical age. let's just say it was Thomas Edison. Look familiar? You know, how many of you remember your grandparents? Some of you, even your parents, where there were electrical rods on your roofs. You say, oh, well, it was to deflect. It was to deflect lightning. Well, if it was to deflect lightning, then why the fuck do they still have them on houses today? How ironic. You know, the father likes to work with contracts. The dark one likes to work with contracts. And that was the page I opened. First page I opened was back here, and it said like it wasn't anything to do with like it was just words, definitions of words. Breach of contract, intimidation, and discrimination against trade unionists. Okay? Unlawful use of military uniforms and certificates. Well, didn't we just have a mass murder in Nova Scotia? 22 people got killed, and the guy had a uniform, he had the car and all the depots and everything like that. But you know, instead of like doing anything, I understand that people felt like the man should have died. I understand that. Because you figure, you know, with the way things are, he may have gone home. But the actual reason why the man died, he was killed because people wanted, like, people start questioning, how the hell did he get a hold of these uniforms? Why are these uniforms going to places where everyday people can get a hold of them? That's an unused, well, I mean, that's the uniform of the police department, the RCMP. So that's much the same as being involved within the military. You're doing the same type of thing, are you not? It's another structure that your government created. They say it's to keep the safety of the people. Yeah, somewhat. But you see more innocent people being arrested and violent acts committed on them. You know, I am very grateful for a bartender. Back right around 98. Because one night I went to the bar, and the night I was sitting there talking to the bartender, and I laid my keys on the bar counter. And my taxi came and I left and I forgot my keys. So I was starting to walk back to get my keys. And luckily the bartender came on. Because he was concerned right away. because he seen it was me, and it was two male cops ushering me into the back of the patio. Okay. Criminal breach of contract. Everyone who willfully breaks a contract knowing or having reasonable cause to believe that the probable consequences, trivial consequences of doing so, whether alone or in a combination with others, who will be an endanger human life, which, that's what the government's doing right now. They want to have the criminal code, but they don't want to go buy it, right? Just you have to. They think that they're an exemption from it. No. Cause serious bodily harm and injury. And exposure or expose vulnerable, valuable property, real or personal, to destruction or serious injury. That's what they're doing to people right now. They tell the people that the people can't draw, like it's illegal for the people to go back on a contract, but not them, because everything they do is a contract, whether it's a written contract or an implied contract. To deprive the inhabitants of a city or place or part thereof, wholly or to a great extent, of their supply of light, power, gas, or water, or to delay or prevent the running of any locomotive, engine, train, tender, freight, or passenger train or car on a railway that is motor carried. These are the different contracts we're talking about. Oh, I have intimidation right here. I have stuff highlighted in intimidation. So thank you, Spirit. Thank you, guys. Kileta Kore. I'm talking to all of you too, because those spirits are you. You may not be conscious of what you're doing, but you're actually bringing your own answers out, whether it's from yourself or someone else, because it's that part of you that questions things, but you don't physically come out and ask them, and you're not always conscious of it. You just feel something's off, but you don't. Excuse me. You don't address the elephant in the room. Intimidation. Everyone is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 5 years, or is guilty of an offense punishable on summary convicted wrongfully and without lawful authority, for the purpose of compelling under person to abstain from doing anything that he or she has a lawful right to do, or to do anything that he or she has a lawful right to abstain from doing. Your vaccines. You had a right, but they threatened your livelihood to force you to give up your right. Your jobs were threatened. Being able to go to a hospital was threatened. People say, well, yeah, we own this place, so we don't want you in here for that. That's discrimination. refusing someone to purchase something because they won't get a vaccine, maybe everybody should boycott your restaurant or boycott your business because you shouldn't be in business. That was the same as me going to a jewelry maker and asking them to make me a tiara using crystals. But they said it was against their religion. Well, dude, that phone you're holding in your hand, you might want to stop fucking using it because you're using crystals. Use violence or threats of violence to that person or his or her spouse or common law partner or children, or injuries in injures his or her property. Intimidates or attempts to intimidate that person or a relative of that person by threats that in Canada or elsewhere, violence or other injury will be done to or punishable inflicted on him or her or a relative of his or hers, and the property of any of all them will be damaged. Is that not what your government is actually doing to you? What's that say? Huh? What's it say? It's a Pocket Criminal Code, 2004. Includes forms of churches. So, hey, David, thank you. Que le sido mucho la institute de eso, man. Might have had to give all my law books away that I inherited from my lawyer. But hey, my lawyer was my mentor because my lawyer, he was the one who got me doing this. He was the one who encouraged me. He was the one who seen my potential. And the people who say they love me did not see it. And they still don't see it. Because my ex-husband told me yesterday that you yourself, you cannot say whether or what you're worth. But you are the one that knows your worth. And if other people don't see it, well, that's their fucking problem. He says, well, people will think that, you think you're more prettier than what you are. What, you think self-esteem is bad because you ain't got none? You make me sick to the point where I want to throw up. Maybe we should get into reading Mary's message to the world. And where is it? The spirit of you. Hey, Jesus, where is it? Do you speak? Mary and Joseph's life together on earth. A message from Jesus. Oh yeah, in here it says, and he says you're foolish. People are foolish. Okay. Let's see. I appreciate the book, but I will go right to the source, and I will allow the source to speak to you, to bring messages to you through me. It's a part of opening to spirit. And these structures, the government and stuff, they'll use your religion against you, which they're actually legally not allowed to, but they do. Your spiritual beings do, but they do. But like I said, they'll tell you, like, you guys swear on the Bible, but meanwhile, in the background, they're telling you that you're swearing to the Queen. You know, it was Queen Elizabeth. Now they probably have King Charles. Hasn't the royal family, haven't you been finding out that the royal family is part of the sex trafficking? But people who bow to these people that, you bow to, because it's, you see them with all these beautiful dresses on, this big castle. Why are they the only ones in love with the castle? Isn't that what they tell us that we think we're privileged? Isn't it them who think we're privileged? You say it's generational wealth. That's not generational wealth. That's generational food. Precedently follows that person, persistently follows that person. A lot of people are saying like you got gang stalkers. Turn around and ask them, who's paying you? The person, oh, what are you talking about? Like, well, you seem to be everywhere I go, and I can feel your energy there. Hides any tools, clothes, or other property owned or used by that person, or deprives him or her of them, or hinders him or her in the use of them. With one or more other persons, follows that person in a disorderly manner on the highway. He sets or watches the place where the person resides, works, carries on business, or happens to be, or blocks or obstructs the highway. So, see, the thing is, wouldn't that, like, they got cameras and they say it's for for safety reasons. What's surveillance? It has nothing to do with safety. It's surveillance, and people say, "Oh well, so that they get their stuff." If you look, you'll probably find out that in a lot of businesses where there's all these cameras, the government's involved. Because it's not part of collecting data, collecting information on you so that they can use it later. That's why they don't want you looking at them. That's why they keep you distracted on each one of them. Because you say about Trump, you say about Obama, they're better than each other. Just one finds it better. Doesn't matter what fucking color you wear. Doesn't matter what church you go to, what education you have. they have the part of threats against United Nations or associated personnel. Your, your government, your institutions, and all those systems now, it's like they protect their own, and they are all their own. Until you get that one where the domino just, it's there and it's wobbling, all of a sudden, ding, 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 ding. Holy shit, man, it's massive. For you, people will tell you, well, the system is bigger than we are. It's a bit of a criminal organization. You know, the thing is that when those dominoes fall, innocent people get in the crossfire. And see those bigger, higher ups. They like to try and blame it on the oils. Well, they're the ones doing the work. But you're the last one to oversee it. And then it goes to nobody else after. So who am I going to believe is actually manipulating things? The last one to have it, because if there was any manipulation in there, then I guess you should have been the one to catch it, right? See? So this today, yesterday and today, trying to get me to go over all this fucking bullshit again? What? I'm not fucking right enough for you? I don't conform. I don't say, oh, yes, sir, yes, master. You're not my fucking master. Your government violates all the natural laws. And there's more than that. The government sets the rules, sets the regulations, and they have the power to change it anytime they want because you're stupid enough to give me your fucking vote. And then say that people don't vote, that we're the fucking problem. We're the ones bringing the stupid asses in. My question is, when are you going to get out there and find your sort of area? It's that part of, hey, the father won't speak up, so I guess, the mother and daughter have to listen. But see, didn't Jesus go around saying worship the Father? Or did he say worship the Father? Because Mary Magdalene and Jesus were separated. When Mary Magdalene gave birth to Jesus, he was taken from her. But then when they met and they sorted it out, maybe they met them together and didn't know that they were that it was the mother and son because they were only about 15 years in the difference. Because sort of tech said that Mary Magdalene was 48 and Jesus was 33. Or did you forget that part? Or did they even teach it to you? Blasphemy. You don't even fucking know what blasphemy is. What? Because it's in the dictionary? I believe the true blasphemy is, the denial of the truth. Your truth. Information. The denial of your divinity. That's the blasphemy. They're the blasphemies. Because they're telling you that you are not like Jesus. And that you can only get to God through them. They're the blasphemies. Because they're the liars. Go sit in your pew and absorb your woman. Manipulated truths. Turned everything into a being made. I'm the man! Hoo, hoo, Papa, hoo, 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 ah! Don't forget to use the spikes. To all you people that want to say about people who have feelings. Don't you realize that it's your government, the higher up government that's giving big wages to the actually employees? They're the ones they're the ones that are truly mooching off you because they're the ones with millions and millions and millions of dollars. And you're complaining about somebody getting $1,300 a month? Maybe $13,000 a year. Meanwhile, they're getting what, millions, 100,000, but somehow like they don't have it, and they're getting $200,000 a year for wages, but somehow they become millionaires. And you want to say that we're the bums? We're the moochers? What, is that the only way that you can comprehend it? Is to blame it on the less fortunate because it helps your ego understand things? Like, you don't like me, but then I question.
recommend it. You know, people have to be the judge of my worth, or maybe I should be the judge of yours. Maybe you should find your worth and speak up. You know, some maybe you were happy cleaning, like happy beating your body apart by cleaning your whole life, or being treated like you were less than what they were. You know, I had a CEO of the Bridge Commission when I went in to clean, passed me the garbage can, and at the same time he passed me the garbage can, there was newspaper on the floor. What do you do? Tell your dog to go fetch me the newspaper. Go fetch my slippers. The newspaper on the floor. And when I handed him back the garbage can, I asked him, "Is that newspaper for recycling?" He said, "Yes." It's like, "Good, can you pick it up and pass it to me? Because we're not dogs and we don't go fetch." Someone like that should not be in a position of authority, because I'm going to be saying they're a piece of shit. People say, "Well, that's not very nice." Well, was it nice for him to treat people like a fucking dog? What? Because he's in a CEO position and he's got some money? Yes, that's what people idolize. Talk about the people who are less fortunate than you are, because you don't want to look at the system that's creating it that way. Because as long as you're comfortable and happy, fuck what's around you, right? Until it happens to you, and then it's a totally different story, right? Oh well, I needed it. Who are you to say what these people need and don't need? So you know, if you don't like me, you don't want to make me friend. I really don't care. Because maybe I don't want to be around you. So that's going to sweat off my ass. And the brown stuff that I have to wipe off before it stains. A lot of people are on assistance due to mental health issues, as you perceive. Because you know, the government forbids you of saying it's your spirit, it's spiritual growth. Because hey, you're in a fucking spiritual warfare, and do I look spastic? Good, I'm glad I do. I think the true creator, source, goddess, God, for giving me the voice to speak. You must be the type of, you know, they keep you as their dogs and they put that muzzle on you. They say it's so don't bite. It's why they start biting in the first place. Or is it because you don't want them to have a voice? You can't do, my dog can't do much speaking to you. It'll be like that fucking cold collar too. You might try to get away from it.
all these government-funded programs, they say that they're non-profit. Biggest majority of them, not for profit. But that's all it is. That's just a fucking get on nerves. If it's not for profit, what the fuck is it for? Because I'm sure the fuck it ain't going to benefit the people. If it is, it's very little. Somehow, I have no respect for the government. I have no respect for the medical system, the educational system, the justice system. I have no respect for anything that the government has. So if they have their hands on you, and they're playing right along with it, then maybe I don't have a lot of respect. But some won't care. Because they'll say, oh, well, I got no respect for you because you have no respect for anybody else. Oh, yeah, I have no respect for you. But I'll give you the respect that you give me. So it's that part of maybe Jesus is saying, here, wear your own fucking sins. Die for your own sins. Die standing up to the system. Put your own life on the line. Instead of expecting everybody else to do it for you. You see my face. This is a spirit to spirit, and it goes heart to heart. And if you're personally taking offense to it, well, that's on you. I guess they're killing me. But I'm hoping that it hits your heart. I'm half tempted now to get my baby suit and go sit in my kiddie pool. Because it's a kiddie pool. I don't even think it's a fucking, but at least it's something. No, I didn't put up my other pool yet. I have no own help. I have like no one. Because, according to certain people, I'm driving everybody away because I'm speaking out about something that I've tried talking to people about for an extremely long time. And it went on deaf ears. And it's a big part, it's a big cause of why families fall apart. Because there's always one in there that wants to keep everybody divided, and then we have to question why. What truth is speaking in that doesn't want to come to light when it's a family structure like that. I've been looking at sustainable contracts. I found documents that are fraudulent. It's pretty strange when you have three separate. There's three things that are supposed to be registered separately because they're three different purchases. But everything in the contract or document is all the same. But somehow it was registered. And supposedly on the same day, too. What the fuck's she talking about? Here's the spirit. You so to chiaro si monitori ti tratta essere. Spirit guides me where I need to be, when I need to be there. For what it is that I need to see, hear, or verbalize. So maybe some people shouldn't be sleeping at night. Maybe their consciousness should be kicking in. You know, there's a reason why certain people will just stop communicating with other people. Especially if it seems extremely abruptly after something occurred. I went somewhere one time, and when I approached the person about it to find out like what happened, why just certain things going on, and I was told it was none of my business. Why was it none of my business? What were you afraid of? Because when the person told me it was over a stuffed animal or stuffed toy, it just didn't fucking make sense. And see, I'm not here to bully in the playground, and I'm not here to play nice with the bullies. In here is the truth of what I'm talking about. And these are documents with regards to, you know, what the government takes care of. Oh! Esto está restituido, eso le crea, man. See, and it relates to the documents. So, hey, my question is, how the fuck did it happen? Because it was things you had to register with the government. And like I said, it was the same day.
What's today? January. July. Why did I think of January? Maybe because it all started in January. Because it all started after I had the dream. And that's when it started looking into everything. But it started going really deep also. And then spirit told me, hey, don't just look there, look here too. And I'm being directed to look somewhere else too. See, that's the thing. Nobody takes the time to follow a paper trail or breadcrumbs because breadcrumbs actually lead you. Breadcrumbs actually lead you because it's pieces to a puzzle, a much bigger. And with regards to this, I'd only hazard to guess that someone in government had their hands in it. So that would be it, right? And it would have to be not just the government, but the ones that actually help draw up contracts. Dite quién es señora. Solea. That's what I say about dominoes. All you need is that one. So with that being said, much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive and accept. I want you all to be big, bold, brave, most importantly, be yourself, be your authentic self, be true and kind to yourself, true and kind to others, and know that you have no strength and you can have anything. So find your find your sword of Aaron, which is your voice. Send your love. Por ese tutorial se me llama.